20th Rose Parade presented by Honda. With KTLA's Lisa Gibbons, Mark Steinis, and Micah Ullman.
Happy New Year! Welcome to 2019 and KTLA's 72nd Rose Parade broadcast.
We're glad you're here. It's the melody of life.
Here she is, 10-time Grammy Award winner and the 2019 Grand Marshal of the Rose Parade, the incomparable Shaka Khan.
Yes, I do. Something about the thing to do, baby, keeps me satisfied. I wouldn't lie to you, baby. It's mainly a spiritual thing. Feeling that for you, baby, makes me wanna sing. I feel for you. I think I love you. Feel for you. I think I love you. Thank you, everybody. Happy New Year. Johnson Music makes me sing.
Bring back joy. Every time I flow to run that smile. Pimpin' it hot, make some noise. Deliver the music to make worthwhile. Shock the rocket with a fresh one. Yeah, we know you came together round for the fun. Show them how it's done. With your to keep it on the low. Bring it to a 10 so we all know. Right?
Music makes me say goodbye, sadness, hello, happiness. Music, it makes me sound, and it frees my mind. There ain't no question. Don't be high if you're feeling unsure. I got your cure. This beat is yours. This beat is mine. It moves my body and frees my mind. There ain't no question. It gets me high. Feeling unsure. I got your cure. This music is yours. This beat is mine. Goodbye, sadness, hello, happiness. Music makes me say goodbye, sadness, happiness. Yeah, thank you.
Here with me is Gerald Freeney, the 2019 president for the Tournament of Roses. Gerald, it's all you.
Happy New Year, America.
Now, the 130th Rose Parade presented by Honda. Let the parade begin.
Take care, man.
Look at it. Has begun. Once you see that B-2, we're off and away.
Launched from Whiteman Air Force Base this morning in Missouri, and here it is. I don't know what's more breathtaking, Shaka Khan or the B-2, but regardless, we are ready to roll here in Pasadena, California.
That is just a dramatic, majestic way for us to begin as we say, good morning, let's have a parade today. Once again, I'm Lisa Gibbons.
And I'm Mark Steinis, and we're so glad that you could join us on this glorious morning here in sunny California.
Great way to kick things off, as you say, with Shaka Khan. I mean, she looked great. She had her little grandkids there singing with her nephew. What a beautiful moment for her. And that Jordan Fisher was just really connecting to the crowd. They're on fire. They're just great.
A true family affair. Also, we have to keep this parade moving forward at 2.5 miles an hour. That is. So we need a pace car. We need a sound car. And helping us out today is the 2019 Honda Insight and the Acura RDX.
And we do need to be kept on track because there's some great talent coming your way. You saw the boys of Temecula dancing in our opening number with the HTE Dance Spirit Group, and we've got a lot more just like that lined up, headed your way to celebrate the brand new year.
Speaking of a good dancer, Micah.
Oh, that's a terrible rumor. Good morning, Mark and Lisa. Happy New Year to everyone watching at home. I'm Micah Ullman. I think a terrific way to start. How about those drummers from Woodrow Wilson Middle School and the Henry J. Kaiser High School Band? A wonderful way to welcome our viewers watching across the country and around the world. And a special shout out to the servicemen and women overseas watching on the American Forces Network. We wish you all a happy new year. Thank you for watching. Mark, Lisa, let's roll.
Yes.
Let's do this thing. We've got the bands lining up. We've got floats. We have 46 floats in our parade this year, and we're ready to get it underway.
Yes. First one up is, I believe it's the Honda float. Is that correct? Here it comes.
Making our way across those miles that Mark mentioned to kick off our festivities. Once again, it is Honda, the Rose Parade's title sponsor. And it's a multi-unit beauty called Celebration of Dreams. It's Honda's 60th anniversary. And so they have, that's their new jet, by the way, that you're seeing right there.
I love that little thing.
So they're honoring their future and they're looking back at the past.
By the way, that's not life-size.
No, that is not life-size, but it has this tricycle landing gear that's really cool.
Yes.
And I think there are a few of those in production right now. I think
there's like 92, I believe.
92 of the jets. So they've chosen to express their celebration of dreams with a big birthday cake, and the drummers that you see each represent a historically black college and university marching band here in the United States. They all compete annually in the Honda Battle of the Bands. Mark, we're going to see a few of those remarkable ensembles today.
Look at there's the streamers, the smoke, the bubbles, you name it. We're going to have lots of that today. We're also going to have a lot of entertainment coming your way. We have a fantastic theme, of course.
Here you see this nationally renowned band that we speak of, the Alabama State University Band. And they say, make way for the fly and mighty. They are known as the mighty marching hornets of Alabama State University. These incredible performers are here with a full entertainment package. How about we check out their amazing sound? State, don't they? This band includes its renowned dance teams, including the Honeybees, promoting and displaying body positivity and confidence, fantastic athleticism, and of course enthusiasm. That's what keeps the crowd motivated to stick around at halftime and watch this group. Every band trains rigorously to prepare for the Rose Parade, certainly. Alabama State students are no exception, rehearsing 4 hours per night, 5 days a week, and that is on top of their school workload. So a big round of applause and a welcome to Alabama State University Marching Hornets.
I will tell you, Micah, watching them come around that corner, they all have to accordion because the inside turn is much tighter than the outside, so their pace must pick up. Here we see presenting the Stars and Stripes this morning is the United States Marine Corps mounted color guard. It is the last of its kind in the Marine Corps. Now, these select Marines have trained and are now riding wild Palomino Mustangs, which are adopted through the Bureau of Land Management's Adopt a Horse program. These Mustangs were chosen for a variety of reasons, but mostly for their strength. They're very, very intelligent, this breed is. They have endurance, and they have that rich Palomino coloring as well.
They are beautiful. Thank you to the Color Guard as we say good morning to the United States Marine Corps West Coast Composite Band. This band has 3 units, the 1st Division Marine Band, the 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing Band, and Marine Band San Diego. They are combat-trained warrior musicians. They certainly deserve our thanks and a listening ear. Irresistible. Sound great this morning, rich in tradition. We've had a Marine Band perform at every presidential inauguration since Thomas Jefferson's in 1801. We are lucky to have you all with us today. Thank you.
We are also celebrating a lot of birthdays today at the Rose Parade presented by Honda, although they're calorie-free, I understand. Here is the first 100th celebration. This is American Legion, still serving America, standing tall and strong in a classic American Eagle stance as the head and neck, a feather-shaped corn husk, those wingspans you see down there, 40 feet across.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful. Tucked beneath the wings are banners representing the 4 pillars of the American Legion. There's youth, American pride, national security, and veterans. And riding on that float are heroes in our midst. They're 4 Medal of Honor recipients.
What an honor it is for us to have them in the parade. You know, the American Legion has been instrumental in many veterans' affairs, not the least of which is drafting the first GI Bill, which was signed into law by Roosevelt 75 years ago. And it really changed everything. Everything. It helped create an educated middle-class workforce and induced a construction upturn that would also support the post-World War II baby boom. They've done a beautiful job with their float. There it all goes.
And there's some fireworks.
Fireworks showing it off in perfect form on this New Year's Day. And thank you to the American Legion for
that eagle.
Really helping to create the American dream, Micah. That's what they did.
It's lovely. Offering a taste of the wild, wild west right behind them. Look at these horses. You got to believe a couple of them might have been spooked a little bit by the fireworks, but they're getting things in order now. And they are offering a taste of the wild, wild west in the process. These are the spirit of the West Riders. This group provides an entertaining glimpse into America's frontier past. The riders share a passion for horses, for history, and the heritage of the Old West. Each rider depicting a different type of equestrian from the 1800s. There's a mountain man, a U.S. cavalryman, cowboys, and even a lady riding side saddle, as was the custom. The mounts are varied as well. There are quarter, paint, Tennessee Walker, and American Azteca horses. The group's goal is to bring history to life by presenting the unique characters that helped settle the old frontier.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. In 2019, drive strong from start to finish all year long. Happy New Year from Goodyear. More driven.
All right, we have a winner here. This is the Princess Trophy winner, most outstanding floral presentation. Among entries 35 feet and under in length, and it is from the city of Alhambra. Home Tweet Home. It's such a pleasure to see this one because it is one of 6 community-built floats today. These units financed, designed, and built and decorated by neighbors to promote pride in their cities. The hand-decorated birdhouse features a floral heart window frame colored with bright red cranberries and ornate window boxes in a lush, lush garden setting. The roof is covered with green and white mums. There's parsley flakes and lettuce seed on there, and the black-capped chickadees are detailed in seaweed coffee, powdered rice. There's blue iris petals, yellow and orange gladiola petals, and cream-colored corn husks. Give you the idea of just how intricate this entire birdhouse is. 38,400 flowers just on the birdhouse alone.
You know, this has become a fun Rose Parade tradition. Look at these guys, the helpful Honda helpers have performed their first random act of helpfulness for 2019. They upgraded a lucky family from the curb to the grandstands, and they gave them those really snazzy Honda Snuggies. So thanks, Honda. It's true what they say about things being bigger in Texas. More than 300 members strong, this is the Flower Mound High School Marching Band. The Jaguars bring a big and enthusiastic sound, so let's take a listen thanks to our friends at Honda.
We have a winner. It's called the Extraordinary Trophy, and it is, quite frankly, simply put, the most extraordinary float. And these float awards, we remind you, are presented by FTD. Our friends at Cal Poly Universities have traveled to galaxies far, far away with their entry far out frequencies. And you see why they're winners. This collaborative effort between Cal Poly Pomona and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo was designed, built, and decorated by students. So you see, Morgan and Sally, our astronauts, have encountered alien life forms, and without a common language, they turn to, yes, music to convey a message of goodwill. The aliens try their hand at playing the accordion of onion seed, rice powder, and blended cashew, while astronaut Sally shakes her tambourine adorned with Cal Poly grown straw flour. The students, including our friend Regina Shapwe, get to show off their engineering skills with a precise, crystal-clear stream flowing from a flower. And hey, watch out, Cal Poly. A member of the KTLA family will be joining you in the fall. Shelby Schaubel, the daughter of our morning anchor Chris Schaubel, has committed to run track at San Luis Obispo. Can't wait to see where her Cal Poly adventure will take her. Congratulations to the students at Cal Poly, huh, Lisa?
Yes, absolutely, and to Shelby especially. And a quick shout out to our friends at the Tournament of Roses now. We want you to join in on the fun, so check it out on Twitter and other social media. Just use the hashtag Tournament of Roses, and then, of course, watch the parade over and over again to your heart's content. Special encores all day. And a special welcome in order for Victoria Nodif Netanel and her team of tiny heroes. Mark, your favorites.
Yes.
They are crowd favorites, too. These mini therapy horses are called upon to help people of all ages cope with traumatic events. From kids who have lost loved ones to ailing veterans in hospitals, these smart and friendly animals heal hearts through simple interactions. When the nation's best city orchestra turns 100, well, that's a pretty big deal. Kaiser Permanente celebrates the world-renowned LA Philharmonic Centennial with Music Moves Us, inspiring a healthier world. The unique design of the Walt Disney Concert Hall stands out, and you've got musicians there from members of LA Phil's Youth Orchestra, Los Angeles, Yola, along with Kaiser Permanente musicians. The dramatic and dynamic up-and-coming Chilean conductor Paolo Bartolomeoli is leading this ensemble today. Kaiser Permanente and LA Phil are committed to education programs like Yola, which provides free music instruction for 5 to 18-year-olds. I hope their parents are watching. This is a proud, proud moment.
And if you haven't had a chance, try to make your way to the spectacular summertime fireworks displays at the Real Hollywood Bowl.
Seems like the perfect time, I think, for us to sing. But should we do it?
Why not?
The Wells Fargo wagon
is coming down the street. Oh, please.
Okay, I'll think better of that. For me, anyway.
Okay.
As the West was settled in the 1800s, the stagecoach played such an important role. It transported people, goods, and mail. The red and gold Concord stagecoach has long been synonymous with Wells Fargo. And that phrase, riding shotgun, actually came from this era. There was an armed guard called the Shotgun Messenger, and his job was to just ward off bandits who were trying to rob the stagecoach. So now you know that. Thank you, guys. And Mark,
Yes.
Tell me something good.
Tell me something good. Well, I thought we've learned our lesson already. The 2019 Rose Parade Grand Marshal is that woman down there, Chaka Khan. Soul, funk, phenomenal vocalist, songwriter, known for so many hits like I Feel For You. Also an actor and an activist dedicated to helping women and children at risk. So nice having her here.
Congratulations to Chaka Khan once again. The tournament volunteer trophy goes to the best representation with floral elements of the Rose Parade theme, of course, the melody of life. And I think it's fair to say the city of Torrance, as the winners, certainly struck just the right chord with the power of music underneath that giant treble clef featuring crisp coconut flakes edged in gold straw flower petals. Alania, there you saw them. The local band is playing live on this float this morning. This killer band won their spot here in the city's annual Battle of the Bands competition. Good look at them go. Torrance boasting decorator volunteers from ages 13 to 90, working side by side in a harmonious show of camaraderie to meticulously place flowers and glue all of those small natural materials. More than 5,000 roses were utilized in the design, including those tuba-shaped urns overflowing in cream and yellow arrangements. Each rose, you know, is individually placed in a vial of water to keep it fresh along the parade route. And Torrance holds a special few to be personalized and set on the television side of the float for special attention. Our colleague and friend Chris Burrows' name has been placed here to honor his memory and his love of the Rose Parade. And a special thank you to Barbara Hall for making this happen. Lisa.
And thank you to Chris Burrows for such an inspiring life. This band marching all the way from Marietta, Georgia. This is the Lassiter High School Marching Trojan Band. We listen thanks to Blue Shield of California. Look sharp. In 1988, Lassiter made its Rose Parade debut, and it was led then by drum major Michael McCabe. Well, now, 31 years later, McCabe's son, Michael Jr., is marching as a trumpet player. And Mark, get this, his parents also met in the Lassiter band.
Wow.
There's a lot of music going on there.
So they made music together.
They sure did. Thank you, Lassiter. Looking really sharp, sounding great today.
Well, we have a winner, a judge's trophy for most outstanding float design and dramatic impact, and it is for the Donate Life float, Rhythm of the Heart. Donate Life is celebrating the musical diversity of heritage of Africa with this float. It features djembe drums from Senegal and the kuba drum from the Congo. Integrated into the sides of each drum are 44 floragraphs. Those are portraits of the brave souls, those who donated organs and eyes or tissue to bring life to another. Members of donor families decorated each portrait with an array of sepia-tone natural materials, including crushed walnut shell, cinnamon and ginger spices, along with sweet rice, red millet, and nigella seeds. A dramatic Senufo mask from the Ivory Coast overlooks those floragraphs, a double face which represents both men and women, past and present generations, and the interconnectedness of those who have been touched by organ donation. Exotic tropical floral designs feature flowering materials imported from Africa, as well as 25,000 roses, mostly of the Santana and Verano varieties.
This is always one of our favorites. You see Alex Boyer with his talking drum, singing and marching alongside this float. Donate Life has been part of our parade family for 16 years, and it plays a special role this year. As Tournament of Roses president, Gerald Freeney is himself a two-time organ recipient and survivor. Gerald would like to remind everyone to become an organ donor in order to help people like him have a second chance at life. And here is our parade president right now, representing the Road Parade's 130th celebration. It's Gerald K. Freeney. We have so much respect for this man. He's provided powerful leadership and service to the Tournament of Roses and to his community as well. He also makes history as the organization's first African-American leader.
The melody of life, the universal language of music. It connects everyone across the nation and across the world. Happy New Year.
He just beams happiness, doesn't he?
He does.
He has seen the music provide him so much power to heal in his own life, as we mentioned, but he's also seen it heal us, define us, inspire us, and connect us to the memories of the moments around us, like what's happening there today. Also happening today is this, the California Highway Patrol mounted patrol units. They provide law enforcement where patrol cars cannot get through, making them critically important in policing large crowds. Now, there's Belgian, Shire, Percheron, and Clydesdale breeds showed here. These are gentle giants. They serve goodwill ambassadors, and they're trained to handle demonstrations, loud noises many times, and of course lots of car traffic. Officers there are required to complete 120 hours of extra lessons on top of the standard training required to help keep us all safe.
That's impressive. And this is really impressive. It's a President Trophy winner for most outstanding use and presentation of flowers. It's glorious. Each year, the City of Hope brings second chances to those struggling with life-threatening illnesses. They call this the harmony of hope between researchers, physicians, patients, and those who care for them. That strengthens both the body and the soul. And on the float, doctors, nurses, and patients, many of whom are musicians, are surrounded by white lima bean musical notes, black seaweed, piano keys on this float, and butterflies of whole orange lentils. Isn't that gorgeous?
That's beautiful.
The corn husk and gazebo paperbark swing provide solace for those committed individuals who strive for a brighter tomorrow, as they all do. I had a chance to interview Dr. Kang at City of Hope, who's a musician and also a surgeon, and we talked about the power of healing, and I shared with him what we do at Lisa's Care Connection with families that have Alzheimer's disease, and how it really helps with anxiety and helps to manage behavior. So we thank them for reminding us all of that very special power.
I think Micah would agree.
Absolutely. I think they do remarkable work and very important work at City of Hope. And they're followed this morning by the incomparable Marching 100. I like that name. Known the world over for its high energy, high-stepping precision, and innovative performances. Over the years, this Florida A&M University band has created more than 30 innovative techniques that have become standard steps for many marching bands across the nation. Leading the way is Corey Bostic, drum major and broadcast journalism major. Maybe one day she'll host the Rose Parade. You never know. Let's take an uninterrupted peek, sponsored by our SoCal Honda dealers.
It's important to mention that every band you see here today is multi-award winning, but it's worth mentioning that the incomparable Marching 100 that is here right now before us is the only band from an historically black college and university to capture the prestigious Sudler Trophy. Now you're saying, what is that exactly? Well, it's comparable to the Heisman Trophy. You know that from football. So it's right up there with the same status. This will tell you how good this band is.
Look at them go.
Yeah.
And you know, Mark, about half of those band members, we understand, had never been on a flight before coming here to the Rose Parade.
Oh, really?
So that's what I was told. I thought that was just another reason for them to celebrate and stand proud and be so excited to be sharing this New Year's Day with us.
Well, we want to welcome them to sunny Southern California on the first day of this beautiful new year.
Melody of Life. Lisa Gibbons here along with Mark Steines sharing your New Year's, and this is the Queen Trophy for most outstanding presentation of roses. Riding through life's highs and lows, they say, is like a carousel of experience. The good folks at Farmers Insurance bring us magical childhood memories of carefree days, and you'll see some of the animal stars from their commercials above that float. And the canopy right there, it's very whimsical. It's constructed of lavender mums. My favorite, a little twisted ting-ting cane cone.
Is that real? Ting-ting?
It's real deal.
That's a real deal.
Kind of a snapshot in time filled with delights like swirls of cotton candy, which are made from white phalaenopsis, cocoa sticks, and pearl onions. Farmers prides itself on quality insurance and comfort to their customers when the unexpected occurs. So welcome to your 60th trip to the Rose Parade presented by Honda. Thank you, Farmers Insurance. And now, get ready. In green, yellow, and white comes a Puerto Rican band that was so devastatingly impacted by Hurricane Irma, then again by Hurricane Maria in 2017. It is miraculous, really, that they're performing here today. But take a listen, a warm welcome to Banda Escolar de Gaiania.
Tell you something, through these very difficult conditions they face, these amazing performers kept up with their schooling and rehearsals to make it here today. And out of this natural disaster came extraordinary relationships with other Rose Parade bands, like, for example, Mercer Island High School, whose students helped them fulfill their dreams. You're going to hear a little bit more about that story and how the two have really reached out and supported one another. We'll tell you that story coming up later. Micah?
Yeah, what a turn for them. And now they begin their march down this 5.5-mile stretch through Pasadena and into the homes of millions of viewers watching across the country and around the world. What a special moment for our friends. And look at this, coming around the bend this morning, the Blue Diamond growers. The best almonds make the best almond milk, and no one knows that better than the Blue Diamond growers of California's Central Valley. The life cycle of the almond orchard is a dance with Mother Nature, really. Flowers made from orchids, coconut, and cut status are abuzz with animated bees crafted from onion seed, lunaria petals, and yellow button mums. The flowing white stream of mums and roses gently spills into what looks like a cold, delicious glass of almond milk. I was really hoping, Lisa, they had Twisted Ting Ting on this float, but I might convince them to go that route next year just so that I can join you and having a little fun with that. Blue Diamond Grower, by the way, the world's largest almond supplier and producer, and they're here at the Rose Parade for the very first time. Welcome to Pasadena.
So nice to see them here. Well, our royal procession has begun. An alert for everybody here. A Rose Parade presented by Honda. Tradition, it's the Pasadena City College Herald Trumpeters. They're a hometown favorite made up of 9 trumpeters, 1 snare drummer. They're directed by Kevin Brown.
And with that, there they are. And with that, I will hand it off to you, Lisa, with the royal introduction of the 2019 Royal Court.
Here we go in clockwise order. We have our Rose Queen, Louise Siskel. She's so lovely. Michaela McElrath, Sherry Ma, Ashley Hackett. Hello, ladies. We also have Helen Rossi, Rucha Kadam, and Lauren Bidalin. These are incredible young women. They are so kind, they're so accomplished, and they have really dedicated themselves to community service. And by the way, there's a great op-ed in the LA Times today that was written by our Queen Louise. If you have a second, check that out. She's got a lot to say.
Good morning. I'm Queen Louise, and on behalf of the 101st Tournament of Roses Royal Court, we wish you a very happy and harmonious New Year.
Fantastic. By the way, if you are a faithful Rose Parade watcher, I know you are, you may notice that the Royal Court has new digs this year. Their brand new float was designed by well-known event producer Preston Bailey.
And thank you to the Girl Scouts and the Eagle Scouts. These are award-winning troops that are carrying our banners that you see today as we say hello to the Pasadena City College Tournament of Roses Honor Band. I'm partial to these guys, Mark, because, you know, they let me play with them one time.
Oh, really?
That's being very gentle about it.
Once,
This is
so,
their
right?
90th consecutive march down Colorado Boulevard. Way back in the day when they actually still had ostrich races for this parade.
Wow.
Let's take a listen now, thanks to Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
I can hear a little bit of your influence
the tuba?
Yeah.
So not.
The Tournament of Roses Honor Band is singing in the parade as well, performing a special arrangement of Duke Ellington's It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing. PCC will also play their signature Everything's Coming Up Roses, and why shouldn't they? Because it certainly is today throughout the Rose Parade presented by Honda. And they'll be playing wicked favorite Defying Gravity, which I got to say, after walking 5.5 miles, it must feel like they are doing something to defeat gravity. Micah?
Yeah, I'm always impressed by their stamina. I mean, that's a long way to go with the sunshine, the cool weather this morning in Southern California. How about a congratulations to the city of Burbank, the animation trophy winners for the most outstanding use of imagination. Check out these animals getting together for a jam session aboard the city of Burbank's whimsical Stompin' Good Time. Residents hand-harvested gold medallion petals, white crepe myrtle, magnolia leaves, palm tree fiber, and melaleuca bark to decorate, all from trees within the city limits. That's cool. Corn silk and onion skin were also collected, and to add a little spice to the mix, there's basil, thyme, and sage sprinkled about. These cheerful critter creations show that all types of characters can come together and make beautiful music regardless of race, gender, religion, or in this case, species. Lisa?
Absolutely right. Thank you, Burbank. And I think if we can take a look, there's KTLA's Home for the Holidays winner. That's Cynthia Constanza of Huntington Park. Her cousin Nancy West and family, they flew here from North Carolina, courtesy of Delta Vacations. Welcome.
Well, look at this. This fine group of equestrians from Texas A&M University had the honor of participating in President George H.W. Bush's final ceremony last month at his presidential library. First of all, thank you for your service, Mr. President, and welcome Parsons Mounted Cavalry. This unit is made up of 30 junior and senior cadets. It's the only collegiate mounted combat unit in the nation. The cavalry uses military horse training to teach cadets leadership, self-discipline, confidence, and decision-making skills. And that cannon that you see down there is a 1902 model. It's a 3-inch field gun. In 1975, it was restored, and that cannon became part of Texas A&M tradition, fired each and every time the Aggies score at a home game. Hopefully it won't go off today. They're beautiful. Wow. All right, we have a fantasy trophy winner for you here today, which is for most outstanding display of fantasy and imagination. It's All Systems A-Go and a yellow submarine from the good folks at Western Asset Management Company.
Let me give you some details. A party hat nose cone propeller constructed from yellow mums and red straw flowers spin this submarine through the deep blue sea. Above deck, a periscope with an eye on the future, delicately crafted from black seaweed and blue status. That brightly colored ocean floor is filled with floral wonders like green springary, Mitsumata branches, orange cotifolum, pincushion, tallow berries, pink cabbage kale, and curly ting-ting, just in case you wanted to know.
How come you got all the curly ting-tings?
Yeah, it's just that way.
You know, you had mentioned blue fine cut status.
I want us to show everybody about this. When you need deep blue in the parade, they use this a lot. It's like floral gold.
It really is. So it's hard to find blue in nature, but this is where they get it, and boy, do they work hard to get it.
Because they take the blossoms off, like you see the volunteers doing that, and they make it this powdery fine, and then they glue it onto the float. So whenever you see blue today, just say, oh, there's the status.
There we go. All right, on to the next event. We have the equestrian group harkening back to legendary Western movie stars of the silver screen. Here come the cowhands of Scripps Miramar Ranch, and this team hails from sunny San Diego, and their exuberant trail boss, there he is, Carson Kressley, leading the way. You know, Carson's really become a fixture in this Rose Parade presented by Honda, but he's also become a really good friend. Scripps Miramar takes pride in breeding and training these easy-to-ride, high-stepping American saddle breeds. We just love this.
The Ohio State Buckeyes and their fearless mascot Brutus celebrating a fantastic 12-1 season with a Heisman nomination for their sophomore quarterback, Dwayne Haskins. The team is famous for its rivalry against the University of Michigan. They call it just the game. It dates all the way back to 1987, and OSU beat them again in 2018, by the way, for the 7th year.
And after the Rose Bowl game this afternoon, the team's very dedicated, talented coach Urban Meyer is going to retire. He's led his team to 7 great seasons and a victory to the 2015 National Championship. And let's see if he can bring one last victory home for the Washington Huskies.
O-H-I-O. Here comes the Ohio State University Marching Band, or they call themselves the best damn band in the land, under the direction of Christopher Hoke. They spell out Ohio in script at the home games, and this sousaphone player is chosen to dot the I. So he's a star, and this guy is quite a star.
Yes.
I mean, he's going to be doing backbends up and down the boulevard.
Sure.
That's Connor Barr.
Wow. Beautiful. Ohio State ranks as one of the largest collegiate all-brass and percussion bands in the country, by the way, in case you were interested in that. All right, here they are, a spirited, innovative group that says, get up on your feet and dance. How about the Kiwanis International, helping kids rock their future? That is a malt shop bebop scene happening down there with multicolored musical notes of yellow, fine-cut straw flour, ground parsley flakes, and blue fine-cut status that we just shared with you.
And now you know, vinyl stacks of hit records are constructed from seaweed, poppy seed, and ground white pepper. Their jukebox there is 16 feet tall. It's covered in wine and dark bow mums, gray lettuce seed, and kidney and lima beans. Since 1905, Kiwanis International has made it their mission to help children grow and reach their full potential. So if you love kids and you want a place to volunteer, the Kiwanis would be so happy to get you up and on your feet. And remember, you can show your love to the Tournament of Roses on Twitter and other social media. Just use the hashtag #RoseParade.
Micah?
Yeah, our friends at Trader Joe's have done it again. The Crown City Innovator Trophy goes to Trader Joe's for the most outstanding use of imagination, innovation, and technology. Trader Joe's Ride Captain Ride is not just a fantastical ship, but a mechanical music box as well. A stately bird-shaped figurehead made of ground split peas and parsley flakes sits at the bow, dangling a basket of treasures from its straw flower beak. Elfin pink mums, blue status, and orange lentils give this spinning hot air balloon vibrant colors. The 10 stellar ship captains are real store captains as well, stars who make grocery shopping an adventure every day. They're riding along under sails of ground rice and yellow mums under the sunshine. It's always fun how Trader Joe's always makes use of delicious produce in their floral presentation. They're floating within that frothy ocean. Clouds are a mix of asparagus, purple cabbage and eggplant, yellow zucchini, and scallions. And the body of this grand ship is covered with the bark of my favorite tree, the redwood tree. Also, coffee is used and ground orange lentils. And the frothy ocean's peppered in white gypsum and dark lavender roses. Congratulations, Trader Joe!
Right, sit back and relax and get inspired by our next group. Micah, this is the Mercer Island High School Band. Let's hear them play, and then on the other side of this, I'm going to tell you an unforgettable story of friendship.
Right? Many of these musicians have been part of the Mercer Island Band program since the 5th grade. Their sound is tremendous. Their heart's even bigger.
Yes, you know, here's that story I was telling you about. You know, we touched on this a little bit earlier. Weeks after the bands were chosen for this Melody of Life Rose Parade, Hurricane Maria wiped out much of Puerto Rico in the home of Banda Escolar de Guainía. So Mercer Island students stepped up to help Puerto Rico students get here. Now, the band leaders are telling us, they're reporting to us, that it was more than just fundraising. These kids actually began a lifelong partnership, traveling to each other's islands, engaging in cultural exchanges, and learning about Americas all the way across the nation.
it's not just notes and rhythm.
No.
It's love, it's friendship, it's connection. And we want to connect with you, so we're going to toast the new year in just a bit. Grab your favorite mug, your flute, your sippy cup, fill it with your sparkling cider or hot chocolate, or we're going to fill ours with some Stella, and do that in just a minute.
But let's listen a little bit more to Mercer Ivan.
Themselves proud today. All right, are you ready?
Oh,
let's get some good celebrating going. That's right, I said celebrate. Stella Rosa Wines is a Grand Marshal Trophy winner for Most Outstanding Creative Concept and Design. They are bringing in the new year with a 55-foot-long show-stopping extravaganza. Look at that, live music and dance. This is the Magic Genie. Her face is beautiful with a blend of crushed walnut shell, cornmeal, and paprika spice. Her eyes are made of green split peas, Mark, and rose petals for her lips.
Look at that.
Isn't she gorgeous?
The detail.
Do you hear that sound?
Yes.
Playing on the Stella Rosa float, this Grand Marshal Award winner, none other than Kool and the Gang.
Ah, there they are.
The iconic band. Let's listen to them. They are so awesome.
Oh, yes.
Let's do it.
Yes. Raise a glass and toast to the new year, shall we?
Let's count it down, Micah.
2, 0, 1, 9. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Really nice celebration to everyone. They sound great. Thank you to Kool and the Gang. Oh, my husband's so happy right now. They're his favorites.
Love them.
Right behind them, there's a whole lot of purple pride going on today. Here they're coming.
Yep.
It's the Pinkerton Marching Band, glorious sounds of Ohio students marching right, but Stella Rosa is where we still are, because that genie is still flying, the band is still playing, so I want to say thank you to the Ribley family. Stella Rosa Wines is produced by the Ribleys. They also own and operate a cherished piece of LA history, the San Antonio Winery, more than a century of winemaking in the greater LA area.
And we got to listen to more Kool and the Gang.
Yeah.
I could all day long.
Got me all excited.
Yeah.
Here they are. The Pickerington Marching Band, glorious sounds of Ohio students. They're from both Pickerington North and Pickerington Central High Schools. And now we're ready, Lisa. Take a listen to them. Thanks to Spectrum. not playing at this very moment.
No, but I can still hear Kool and the Gang in the background. Here they go. Let's listen in. Some purple. In honor of Pickerington's commitment service and former band director, the Tournament of Roses has established the new Michael D. Sewell Service Through Music Award. Now, this prize will be designated to a Rose Parade band that exhibits both excellence in music and community service. Dr. Sewell brought this band to the Rose Parade 4 times, beginning back in 1993. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2017, but boy, what a legacy did he leave behind. Keep listening into this.
Started with them a little bit late, so we wanted to make sure you heard their amazing sounds from the Pickerington bands. Lisa Gibbons with Mark Steinis, and this is a winner. It's the Founder Trophy, most outstanding float built and decorated by volunteers from a community or organization. Every year, the all-volunteer float creators from La Cañada Flint Ridge bring us something kind of whimsical. They use humor a lot. This one is called Tree Frog Night. Down by the bayou, playing Cajun and Zydeco tunes. As you can see, it's a trio of frogs decorated in Kermit mums, and they're singing and tapping their toes and turning their heads while that standing bass keeps time in crushed walnut, tapioca, and black beans.
Like Three Dog Night, Three Frog Night. Dehydrated grapefruits, kumquats, beets, and mushrooms give the smiling fish their scales, and golden flaxseed and parsley flakes cover the tall cattails right there you see at the water's edge. It's just amazing the amount of work and the volunteers that come forward to put so much effort in doing it.
I hope they're seeing those eyes saying, I did that.
Yes.
I put that seed on there.
See that flower in the front? That's mine. Those lemons, those were mine.
You're going to see lots more fresh ingredients, fruit and spices, along with all the roses. 18 million roses, you know, Mark.
Yes.
In the Rose Parade.
Well, it's nice to have a little Cajun twist in this one, coming to Southern California. Thanks, La Cañada Flint Ridge. There's Melaleuca bark down there as well, which I love, that bark.
Another first-timer coming up here. First time to our Rose Parade, presented by Honda. There's our booth in the sky.
Yes.
This is the Blue Shadows Mounted Drill Team. They join us from Lakeview Terrace and Newberry Park, California. Welcome. Founded in 1957, this cavalry-style drill team teaches leadership, responsibility, and teamwork in true military fashion. Ready to compete in style, the Blue Shadows show off a nice mix of quarter cross, Arabian, Missouri Fox Trotter, I should say, and Mustang horses. Now, we hear the word cavalry a lot throughout our parade, but you really don't hear it a lot on a regular basis. And, Michael, you probably know this. It just means soldiers who fight on horseback.
Yep. Yes, and a salute this morning to all who do and have done. Here we go with the University of Washington, the 2019 Rose Bowl game. They, of course, are in the game this afternoon here in Pasadena. The Washington Huskies. This is UW's 15th appearance in a Rose Bowl game. Last time they were here in 2001, they defeated Purdue University. Can they do it this year against the Buckeyes? A good friend of mine, a graduate of UW, seems to think so. Head football coach Chris Peterson brings this Pac-12 championship team to the granddaddy of them all this year. Washington's defense is rock solid with their 3 All-Americans, linebacker Ben Burr-Kirven, safety Taylor Rapp, and defensive back Byron Murphy, ready to hold back the Buckeyes' high-powered offense, and they have their hands full. They will likely be counting on their running back Myles Gaskin, who is the all-time leading rusher in Husky history to score a touchdown or 2 for the Dogs. We wish the Huskies good luck in the Rose Bowl this afternoon. Mark?
Yes, well, they'll continue to have victory on the field with this band, Purple Rain's University of Washington Husky Marching Band, a traditional high-stepping style marching band that has been supporting their university for 90 years. Today, they are under the direction of Dr. Brad McDavid. To encourage spirit, the band has an infectious sing-along when they play their Bow Down to Washington Fight song. Congratulations, Husky Marching Band. You know, this afternoon, the champs of the Pac-12 Conference, those Huskies, will face the champs of the Big Ten Conference, Ohio State Buckeyes, for the very first time in Rose Bowl history. It's hard to believe that. It's the first time they're meeting here at the Bowl. It all happens in Pasadena. 105th Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual. Kickoff 1 o'clock, ESPN.
Got a lot of parade before we get to the football, though. Here's another winner, the Isabella Coleman Trophy winner for color and color harmony through floral design. It is lovely. Music has the power to connect us. That's what we're talking about today. This is a divine melody, resonates in all. It's a dazzling mobile rendition, spreading peace and love through classical Sikh hymns. Although we have had people tell us that some people prefer the pronunciation to be Sikh versus Sikh.
Or Sikh, okay.
However, that is your chosen way to say it. This is a beautiful, beautiful float. Look at those musicians who are on a luxurious rolling carpet of hot pink carnations. That's exquisite. An ancient rhubarb, the musical instrument once played by the founder, is detailed in tan walnut and coffee shell, large white lima beans, and strings of white powdered rice.
A symbol of graceful song and dance. The peacock's black onion powder eyes, white ground pepper beak, and tail of white fuzzy cut everlasting.
Look
Yellow
at
and
her.
pink straw flower. Look at that. Blue status, as we mentioned earlier, and there's black onion powder to give it that gorgeous detail.
And we have the Shriners coming up next. They take home a trophy, theme trophy. Most outstanding presentation of the Rose Parade theme. Congratulations to them. The dedicated staff at Shriners Hospital for Children take a harmonious approach to helping their young patients recover and write their own songs in life. Fezzi's Garden of Hope and Healing is this one, symbol of tranquility, growth, and renewal. Fezzi and friends tend to their lush garden of green tea leaves, white fuzzy cut everlasting, and hot pink dendrobes. The Shriners' iconic Cub ambassador smiles with his eyes made of black beans and white mum snout. And you see some tomato plant vines there. You might think they would be tomato plant vines,
right.
But to create that look, it takes ground parsley flakes, creme farina, split peas, and green mung beans. And riding on that float, we have R.J. Mitty from Breaking Bad, so that's extra credit. Hi, everybody.
Wonderful. Hi. What a beautiful morning here. And there he is. There's R.J. Very talented actor. If you saw him on Breaking Bad, wow. He's amazingly gifted.
Everyone loves that show.
Yes.
We love having them here in the Rose Parade.
Well, here comes a tune from the past. How cool is this? This is a vintage 1967 Crowned Fire coach carrying the mayor of Pasadena, Terry Tornick, and his wife, Maria. Now, listen to this. The Pasadena Fire Department purchased this beauty. It was brand new back in 1967, and it served its time very well for the city for 18 years. And then Engine 24, by the way, which is capable of pumping 1,250 gallons of water a minute from a 500-gallon tank, carries 2 ladders along the side. But in 1995, it was done, time was served up, and it was purchased by the firefighter paramedic Lou Farah, who is driving it today, and it's a fitting carriage, if you will, for Mayor Tornick and his family and friends. Look at it.
Micah.
Wow, a Crown Fire coach. Cool to see. Sweepstakes trophy winner this morning from the UPS store. The most beautiful entry encompassing float design, floral presentation, and entertainment. I'll tell you, this turned a lot of heads at the float tour a few days ago. It's certain to do the same as it makes its way down Colorado Boulevard. Meet Olive, the multitasking, dancing ostrich. She is the focus of the UPS store's Books Keep Us on Our Toes. Olive's eyes move side to side, studying her book, all while practicing the Swan Lake Ballet. Covered primarily in carnations, Olive's plumage is created with mahogany tea leaves and soft gray coquia. And more than 40,000 dendrobium orchids and orchid florets embellish her wings and tail. She is a sight to behold. The UPS store uses their Rose Parade presented by Honda platform to give voice to the Toys for Tots literacy program, which provides books like the ones you see on this float, covered in purple, lavender, and hot pink carnations with accents of yellow button mums. There they are in all their life-size glory. This year, UPS Store will give away $100,000 worth of books to needy organizations, offering children important opportunities to read, communicate more effectively and help shrink the achievement gap in schools. A critical element to success, Mark and Lizzie, as you both know, reading.
Well, you know, Micah, some come from far, and then some come from Diamond Bar. How about that? Right around the corner. Good morning, Pacific Crest Drum and Bugle Corps. There's a 19-year-old young man, Evan Poncia, down there in the mellophone section, who had a heart transplant at the age of 12 and says that music helped him through his healing and recovery from that.
Our theme today playing out throughout Colorado Boulevard. These students are kind of an all-star team. They come from a lot of different high schools, and they spend their summers touring the country. They compete in drum corps international events. Today only, they are welcoming back some alums to march along. I hope they're keeping up. Okay, now sprinting along the obstacle course of life is 24-hour fitness's entry, tuned for any challenge. Towering 33 feet in the air, look at this powerful female athlete. This is such an unusual, cool float. She is proudly carrying the Spartan Race Shield. Her frame glimmers in ground lentil and yellow split pea, button mums, clover, and flaxseed. And those moving organs, look at that. They are cut status blooms, mums, and carnations. Her heart beats with thousands of red roses and orchids. And, of course, what would this athlete be without her carnation, rose, and orchid muscles? Isn't this unusual?
It's really unusual. It's quite beautiful. In fact, those rope climbers are approximately 15 feet off the ground, and they are powering the pulleys and gears that keep her body in motion. And riding on the float, 3 professional athletes who compete in the Spartan race, and alongside our 24-hour fitness club training instructors, encouraging us all to live a healthy and active lifestyle with workouts year-round.
Okay, I want you to take a look now at how the originators of the Rose Parade might have dressed a century ago. This vintage diorama by Valley Hunt Club reminds us that if it weren't for those early residents of Pasadena, well, there'd be no Rose Parade presented by Honda. So back in the day, like in the 1890s, neighbors got together, businesses, they decorated their horse-drawn carriages, they put the flowers on, and they wanted just to basically show off. They were showing off the weather, and they were hoping to get people to come on out to California and invest. Well, a dream really happened. Over 130 years later, look at us. We are high in the stands. Today we're watching 46 floats and 22 bands, 18 equestrian units, all march down. Wow. Turned out to be a great idea for the Valley Hunt Club.
Micah, we have another winner.
Yes, we do, Mark. Bob Hope Humor Trophy, most whimsical and amusing float. Our friends at Northwestern Mutual. Here is something that will warm you up on this crisp winter morning. Northwestern Mutual's Spend Your Life Living depicts a family of elephants enjoying their summer vacation on the water. Check out Papa Pachyderm snapping a family Elfie. You like that? I can't take credit for the line, only for delivering it. The Papa Pachyderm's Elfie, his classic dad shirt as well, with an assortment of carnations, mums, ilex berries, and marigold petals. Waves of crisp white coconut chips break on the crystal blue waters of 20,000 light and dark blue irises, white roses, and dendrobium orchids. Meanwhile, the kiddos are frolicking in the sun, enjoying activities with their parasail covered in strawflower petals. Do you see the bubbles?
Yep.
I see the bubbles.
Would not be a parade without those.
No, you gotta have the bubbles. Yes, the elephants are known to have keen memories as well, and it's those cherished family memories that make up the melody of life. Northwestern Mutual works to help people create financial freedom so they can spend their life living.
Wonderful. Well, here are the 2019 Rose Bowl Hall of Famers riding in a 1940 Lincoln Mark I. On board, Vince Young, former Texas and NFL quarterback who led the Longhorns to Rose Bowl game victories in 05 and 06. And Randall McDaniel, who rose from star offensive lineman at Arizona State to becoming one of the best pulling guards in NFL history. And also inducted posthumously is Glenn Warner, otherwise known as Pop Warner, the legendary college coach and great career with 3 Rose Bowl appearances in the late 20s. And finally, George Halas, the founder, player, head coach of the Chicago Bears. Papa Bear was also one of the co-founders founders of the NFL. That was in the 1920s.
And congratulations, everyone. This one comes to us from the Rotary Club. Service rocks. They are paying homage to Sir Elton John and his legendary hit Crocodile Rock, of course, with this 21-foot tall animated reptile belting it out, inviting all of us to sing along. Okay, let me run down Mr. Crocodile's colorful scales for you. They are the perfect shade of green in Midori anthuriums. Accents of lemon slices, which we saw in Float Tour. Look at that. Look at the lemon. Like, that's just so gorgeous. And then you have Elton John's signature heart-shaped glasses. Those are made of cranberries.
Yes.
And all along his back, the colorful scales and spots feature light bow, lavender, yellow, and wine mums. And he also has Brussels sprout accents.
Did you really want me to sing along? You did not.
You know, the Rotarians are all about taking action. They're known for everything from service to literacy, peace, and water, and we really appreciate it. Today they made us smile.
This next group is known for their energy, sound, and power. The LAUSD All-District High School Honor Band plays with one goal in mind, and that is to inspire the audience with their rhythm and their movement and heart. Get inspired. Take a listen.
Strong appearance today. The LAUSD Honor Band offers music education, camaraderie, and attention to detail, offering students from all areas of Los Angeles the chance to grow and learn through music.
I have to give a shout out to David Farley. He's 15 years old. He's down there playing the trombone. 10th grade at San Pedro High School. That trombone has transported him into a whole new world in his life. He just loves music, fell in love with it. He's one of more than 60 LAUSD schools that are participating. The students come a long way to commit long hours and a lot of weekends to make this parade dream a reality, and it's not without the help of course, a very dedicated staff and hardworking parents to make sure they get to those rehearsals as well. So congratulations to David and all of those who had joined him down there today from LAUSD All-District High School Honor Band. Micah?
Yeah, and think of the competition amongst these students across the district to make an all-district honor band the size of Los Angeles Unified. Always a special moment of pride for the students across LA County as they show off the skills that got them here on a world stage. Turning the corner from Orange Grove to Colorado, there it is, the Lions Club's International rockin' the vest. They are doing so with President Ingve Doder at the helm. The inspiration for this hip creation is Peter Batchelder's fun song, Rockin' the Vest, that you might be able to hear playing. Let's see if we can listen. We can surely see them dancing and singing along. LA Unified is powering the house here as they move down the boulevard and taking up a lot of the sound space. But we want to say that this song was produced to reach and draw the next generation of service volunteers, the Rockin' the Vest campaign. Driving the classic blue Cadillac is Leo the Lion. His face is a blend of yellow, bronze, and white straw flower and a nose of black seaweed. No detail is left out with glasses you see there, freckles of onion seed, and whiskers of cocoa sticks and powdered rice. So much to see and talk about. Share your reactions on Instagram, if you would please, and other social media at hashtag Tournament of Roses. Mark?
All right, well, here come the new Buffalo Soldiers. These present-day historians are committed to helping ignite curiosity about the contributions of black American soldiers in the United States military. So important for us to know all about that. And this group depicts black troopers of the 92nd and 93rd Division during World War I. Now, back then, members of Company H, 10th Cavalry were assigned black horses like Tennessee Walker, Missouri Fox, and Azteca breeds, as we see here today. today. We're so honored to spotlight the New Buffalo Soldiers, representing those who indeed dedicated their lives to save ours and did so with such little recognition. It is said that the Buffalo Soldiers earned that nickname as a sign of respect from the Plains Indians, and it's a respect well earned. Thank you so very much.
A precious tie to our ancestors are the songs and rituals passed down through the generations. Chanting Stones Carahunj is one of such traditions from the American Armenian Association. This is a gorgeous float. They are dancing to the beat of a duduk, which is an ancient double reed woodwind instrument. It's made of apricot wood, which is indigenous to Armenia. And then the two men that you see there are crafted from black hyacinth root, coffee, and Christmas red mums. They're performing Yarhusht, a martial arts clap dance in the highlands of southern Armenia. Carahunj translates to speaking stones. It's over 7,000 years old and known for making whistling sounds on windy days. It's also, Mark, referred to as the Armenian Stonehenge.
Huh. Interesting. All right, up next, this certainly calls for celebration, a major celebration. Today marks the 100th March for the Salvation Army Tournament of Roses Band, and that makes them the longest-running consecutive participant in the Rose Parade. And if my math is right, check me on this, Lisa, that would be a total of 550 miles of marching.
You got it.
Let's listen.
By the way, is the largest group ever to represent the Salvation Army in our Rose Parade, with members from all over, including India, Brazil, Jamaica, New Zealand, South Africa. You are valued and appreciated. Congratulations, Salvation Army. And here's another winner to tell you about. It gets the International Trophy. Most outstanding float from outside the United States. It is Rhythms of Taiwan from China Airlines. It celebrates the old and new of Asian arts and culture. Colorful fireworks are depicted exploding off the edge in carnations, orchids, button mums, and orange lentils. These are just spectacularly bright and vibrant use of flowers. That's the statue of the Taos deity Neza, also known as the techno-dancing Third Prince. The religious folk icon now performs at events around the world, providing entertainment and throbbing techno beats. And they are really enjoying their parade route today on New Year's.
This colorful dance and drum troupe is wearing traditional Taiwanese costumes with a splash of modernization, including oversized sunglasses and gloves. And along with the beauty and color, what a pleasure to enjoy the musical immersion of the rhythms of Taiwan. Right, Micah?
Wow, love the color, the history, and the rich tradition involved there. And the way the sun makes those colors shine. Only in sunny Southern California, friends. The equestrian entry, U.S. Forest Service pack mules. They are celebrating our friend Smokey Bear's 75th. His revered message of preventing forest fires, can you believe it? It turned 75 years old this year. The U.S. Forest Service pack mules have come to help celebrate that lovable bear and remind us that even today, you can help prevent forest fires. Carrying on the tradition of conservation and hard work, it's those red sorrel mules who trek long distances deep into the wilderness to support all those firefighters and rangers who work endlessly to keep us safe. So hats off, friends, to the U.S. Forest Service for all their efforts in preventing and fighting wildfires. Lisa?
Thank you, Micah. And our congratulations go out to a winner, Golden State Trophy for most outstanding depiction of life in California, but it has not yet made its way down the boulevard. We continue to look at all the million people lining the streets here on a beautiful day in Southern California.
It did start out chilly here, I will be honest with you. It was down in the 30s this morning, but it has warmed up and has turned into a beautiful, beautiful day that we are so accustomed to here in Southern California.
Well, that's how this whole thing started.
Yes.
Everyone at Tournament of Roses goes out of their way all year long to make this parade a huge success. So we've got our special team that we'd like to thank here for 2019. Jim Chiampa Thank you so much, Pamela Knapp, Heidi Koff. Our thanks to Scott Martin, Barbie Blake, and to all of your teams. You are phenomenal all year long. We love you. And here's that winner.
There you go.
For the most outstanding depiction of life in California. And you can't have life in California without talking about Big Bear.
No,
this is the Big Bear Rose Parade float of play, rest, repeat. Clear blue skies, high altitude adventure, just a short scenic ride from here at Big Bear. That's their motto. Our family has loved vacations there, don't you, Mark?
Yes, it's so beautiful up there, tranquil.
Yeah, my kids, Lexi, Troy, Nate, all love it. And hi, you guys. I love you, by the way. Let me tell you what they've got depicted here. Spring is represented by kayakers paddling marigold and cornhusk boats. And Papa Bear, donned in green manzanita leaf, is enjoying fair weather fishing on a pristine lake of blue iris and hydrangea. You've got daisy palms and chrysanthemums and solid aster fading into white powdery snow slopes of coconut chips and dendrobium orchids.
What you may not know is Mama Eagle and her eaglets nestle high up in a tree there. And we had the honor of actually decorating one of those cute eaglets with their poppy seed and crushed black pepper eyes, yellow lentil beaks, and peach lentil powdered tongues. Big Bear Home is home to real bald eagles, and you can follow those on that cam as well. Just look how beautiful that float is. By the way, if you want to check out these floats, a showcase of floats on Sierra Madre and Washington Boulevard, you can, and you can get up close and get really a good smell of them because they do smell unbelievable.
It's amazing.
They're fabulous creatures, aren't they? You can view the float starting today after the parade and tomorrow, January 2nd, from 9 o'clock in the morning until 5 in the evening.
Generations of cowgirls are heading our way now. The Norco Cowgirls Rodeo and Little Miss Norco Cowgirls Drill Team. They're from Norco, California. They're American paint horses, American quarter horses, and one beautiful Appaloosa were chosen for their intelligence, their demeanor, and their great athleticism, Mark.
That's right. Horsemanship, teamwork, responsibility, friendship at the core of this. Now listen to this. There are 5 mother-daughter pairs riding, 1 3-generation trio. That's a mom, a daughter, and a granddaughter, and then a pair of sisters down there. And I just want to thank these ladies because they helped me sort of get back on the horse a couple years ago when I first started doing this, and they're wonderful, wonderful.
Not quite ready to put Christmas music away for another year?
No.
The Lutheran Laymen's League is keeping the spirit alive. With joy to the world, the Lord has come. Riding front and center is a full Lutheran choir featuring singers from parishes all across the nation. And flanked on the choir's sides are oversized bells and horns, the instruments of celebration. You have poinsettia, pine cones, and holiday berries leading you to a rustic nativity scene featuring Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus. That is a lovely way for us to be celebrating. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you're having a great time watching in your jammies. We're happy to be here with you. I'm Lisa Gibbons, my buddy Mark Steinis.
Well, I'll tell you, it is nice here, but it's also nice in Hawaii, and that's Hawaii's youth at its finest. The Nakoa Ali'i, Hawaii All-State Marching Band. The dancers and musicians come from all over the Hawaiian Islands, and they rehearse separately. Get this, they're separate, and then they come together for the first time here in Pasadena to make this very jubilant sound that you're about to hear. A little aloha listen, if you will.
Hi.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. In 2019, drive strong from start to finish all year long. Happy New Year from Goodyear. More driven.
This shot shows you the Aloha shirts are arranged in color blocks. I don't know if you can tell, but it's designed to look like a marching rainbow, which I think is a really nice touch. They're known for their contemporary Polynesian sounds and style, but the musicians are marching in traditional handmade raffia and chaubarked skirts. So much tradition, honoring the past, marching towards a brand new year in unison.
It's interesting how they all practice separately and then they all come together. And fingers crossed, it all.
And it looks like it's working perfectly.
Of course it does. Because they are very young but very professional.
More than 40 public and private schools throughout the state are represented in this marching band, and it's a rainbow of talent.
I love that shot from above because I think if you could see from our perspective, just this rainbow of colors. There is a nice shot of it. the reds, the yellows, and the greens.
Aloha, back to you. Oh, don't you know the parents are so proud. I love when we get to see the close-ups of all their hard work paying off. Down Colorado Boulevard. They'll get to look all those spectators in the eye, many of whom, Mark, have been camped out for 2 days.
And a lot of the bands that you see here today aren't just here for the parade. They do other community service events while they're spending time in Southern California, helping raise money and awareness for good causes.
Here we have a floral extravaganza of Hawaiian culture presented in Dole packaged foods float, Rhythm of Paradise. It is presented by FTD. It's an award winner, Wrigley Legacy Trophy. Most outstanding display of floral presentation, float design, and entertainment. They always knock it out, and this year no exception. This one prominently features a lifelike sculpture of Lono. He's the god of music and peace. Lono's magnificent golden hue of crushed walnut shells is accentuated with tribal tattoos crafted in poppy seed. You know, when you see this up close, the amount of work that goes into that is astonishing, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, swimming all around Lono is an array of ocean life, including dolphins, of shimmering protea petals, and tiger sharks contrasted in light and dark gray poppy seed. It's a colorful underwater paradise, highlighted by the vivid coral reef made of tangerines, kumquats, red orchid florets, and hot pink gerbera.
Dole Packaged Foods committed to providing healthy, sustainable products. The company, by the way, donates 1.5 million pounds of food each and every year to help families, those in need. And their Hawaiian masterpiece illustrates not only the rhythm of music and dance, but also the rhythm of land and ocean. They do so by giving back and responsibly managing our resources. And they say we can keep both rhythms alive and doing well. A 12-foot waterfall, which circulates 250 gallons of recycled water, is on that.
Here, continuing that aloha spirit you're talking about, the Radiant Hawaii Pa'u Riders. In the regal Pa'u tradition of Hawaiian kings and queens riding in grandeur to the royal balls, Pa'u princesses are dressed each in their own island-colored satin jackets and printed skirts. And as has been the tradition since before buttons and zippers, I want you to know, Mark, those skirts are held up by kukui nuts.
Oh.
See?
Yes.
You didn't know.
I thought a belt would do it.
The men are donned in royal red velvet capes, the king's attire from the 1800s, and also a white felt cowboy hat. Thoroughbreds, paint, and buckskin horses are adorned with fresh floral leis from Hawaii, just like their riders.
Mahalo, Hawaii Pa'u Riders. And look, we got Hawaiian music, Hawaiian float themes. Micah, I think I'm going to need some sunscreen by the time I'm done doing this.
Yeah, hold on and get ready for the ultimate seagoing vacation and come sail away. You're going to need the sunscreen. You are. It's a party on Carnival Cruise Line's newest edition, Southern California-based Carnival Panorama, debuting this year. Decorated in crisp white coconut flakes and sweet rice, Carnival Panorama spotlights their newest attraction, the first ever trampoline park at sea. I'm trying to figure out how that one would work. I would try it, I'll tell you that. If I was aboard the ship, I would try it. Maybe not the backflips like this fellow's doing, but I would give it a run. I know the kids would love it. Saluting our brave military is former Miss USA, Deshauna Barber, who is also a captain in the U.S. Army Reserve. And then there's the Twister water slide that's crafted in red dehydrated bell peppers and shiny yellow straw flower petals. And of course, there's the Carnival signature funnel constructed in red carnations and blue sinuata status petals. Those are acrobats and performers and open-air attractions. What better way to debut this 133,500-ton island vacation for both the young and the young at heart, huh?
And a very good Rose Parade presented by Honda. Morning to the United States Army's 1st Cavalry Division Horse Cavalry Detachment. They're from Fort Hood, Texas. This active duty unit brings the spirit of the cavalry to life. They're led by Captain Jenny Nocella. Interesting ranking details here. The black Stetson hats with yellow cords indicate troopers, and those with black and gold cord are commanders.
Wonderful. And celebrating 200 years of harmony. That's hard to beat is the Oddfellows and Rebecca's 200 Years of Harmony float. The old park setting features ornate street lanterns adorned by cascading floral balls of orange and yellow roses, hanging amaranthus greens, and traditional American bunting. A classic, a band organ is sitting right there center stage, flanked by brass instruments, flags representing the United States, Canada, the EU, and Oddfellows decorate each corner of the organ. And get this, the American flag is decorated with gray silver leaf, blue statice, and red and white carnations. Those petals, by the way, are individual petals, not the whole carnation. Somebody took the petals off and put them on one at a time. That is amazing artmanship.
AIDS Healthcare Foundation's Another Day in Paradise is inspired by the classic Phil Collins song of the same name about a day in the life of a homeless woman. Birds of Paradise there, that's our official flower here in Los Angeles, making prominent appearances with more than 1,000 stems around that beautiful big red heart. We have really needed the help this year, and in this past year, the AHL has provided housing for previously unsheltered people, just giving them a chance to get back on their feet. Thousands of yellow and golden strawflower petals, red bell peppers, and carrot flakes give that shining sun its brilliant colors. Thanks to AIDS Foundation.
Yes.
Here's a big band from a small town. These 207 award-winning students are from Munford High School. They are the pride of their town of 6,000. The band is known as the crown jewel of Munford, Tennessee, and we'll take a listen now thanks to Spectrum.
How small this town was, but both residents and businesses chipped in to get Munford's band to Pasadena. Bank Tennessee, this is for example, donate $200 for every new checking account opened. See, that's resources right there.
Community spirit.
That is. It sure is. A huge thank you, by the way, to everyone who pitched in to get Munford High School Cougars here and all the other remarkable bands walking on these streets today. It really does take a village.
They look nice.
Yes.
The floats continue now. Let's go to the hop here on the Rose Parade. Are the hops not ready for us yet?
No.
More Munford. That's what we'd like to hear.
Listen to them. They must be feeling right now. There's the hop.
The city of Downey gives us this one. It depicts a fictional 50s era car hop called Jeffrey's Broiler. That is a fully realized oversized T-bucket roadster there. The checkered dance floor, majestic jukebox, but what you don't see are the hundreds of hours of human power that created all of this. It's an all-volunteer, self-built float. It's one of only 6 that are in our parade today that are self-built. They spend months and months planning and building this artwork to completion, and then you see this, and it's so worth it. The base is made from different lengths and diameters of steel molded into all kinds of shapes.
That's right. Under the hood, some of the materials that you speak of are aluminum screen. There's several varieties of construction foam. There's chicken wire, wood. That's all before the paint cans are even opened or the flowers are even cut and brought in and the natural ingredients applied.
And I believe we have Mariah Laura, Miss Downey, riding on that float. Good morning to her.
Yes. And a Happy New Year.
From Altadena, California comes the Los Hermanos Banuelos Charro team. American quarter horses, Andalusians, Aztecas, and Frisians are the pride of these horsemen representing the western region of Mexico. Since 1995, these brothers and friends have been preserving and keeping their Mexican heritage and culture alive by visiting schools all over California. They do this for the entire length of the parade. It is so impressive.
I thought you were going to say they do this to show off, because you know how hard that is.
Yeah, they are showing off. They're outfitted, look so great in their traditional charro suits and sombrero. Now, each of these men own their own horses. They keep them healthy, they keep them well-groomed and well-fed, but most of all, they are really, really well-loved. Our thanks to the Pasadena Elks Club and the general manager, Frank Sosa. We thank you so much for your continued hospitality. You know, KTLA has originated the Rose Parade from this location since 1947. That's impressive, Micah.
It is, and we want to extend our thanks to the Elks Lodge as well for giving us the opportunity to sit on their balcony where I am right now. And what I think is arguably the best vantage point, you've got that iconic turn over my shoulder, and it's framed by the tens of thousands of people in the grandstands and along the parade route that sit there. And really that corner really brings the suspense, and you can feel it over and again. What's going to come around the corner next? Well, over my shoulder, coming around the corner right now, is one of my favorites. They've put limits on themselves, Chipotle has, with this float in terms of the ingredients they use to decorate this float, and we'll get into that in a minute. But what they want to talk about is cultivating a better world, says Chipotle, and their recipe for cultivating a better world starts with real food made with real ingredients and, of course, plenty of good music. Chipotle Mexican Grill honors the local farmers who work hard every day to grow and cultivate farm-fresh food. From the farm right to the grill. Yes, it's a journey for the 51 ingredients on the Chipotle menu. That big red tractor was carefully crafted from ground Chipotle chili flakes, and gloves, I tell you, were definitely a must in the building process. And you see the band playing their Portugal the Man, sitting atop the sign that says cultivate a better world. They put the limits on themselves, Chipotle, using only ingredients found on their menu. And I think that it more than anything inspired the creative aspect of what they did. A fantastic effort by Chipotle Mexican Grill, I would say. Mark, Lisa?
Absolutely. All right, a little international flavor here. This is a Japanese band, and it's always a pleasure to welcome them for their precise and ebullient style. This is the Alamuso Green Band, and these fabulous instrumentalists are students and recent graduates from 6 high schools in Izumo, located in the Shimane Prefecture in southwestern Japan. Let's just stop for a second, and as soon as they start playing, I want you to listen in because they are so committed.
Have such a busy schedule, and this one does too. Tomorrow they perform a benefit concert at Anaheim High School to raise money for both local music programs and also families of fallen firefighters, which is terrific. Incredibly, several of the bands marching today did that same thing. They added a service project on top of a really busy schedule during their trip here to California. You can learn all about their good works, and I do encourage you to do this. Head over on Twitter. They're at @band_cares. So that's at @band_cares.
I love their energy. I love their energy.
Get ready to meditate for this Director Trophy winner. This is the City of Sierra Madre's Harmonies Garden. Featured on board is a koto, the national instrument of Japan. Now, the koto is plucked using the thumb, index, and middle fingers. You can see her doing that to create a beautiful, distinctive sound. Now, that bridge crossing over a tranquil pond is dripping with light and dark blue irises, as well as white and lavender roses, and punctuated by a 4-foot recirculating waterfall. Been a lot of waterfalls today.
That's right. The lanterns appear to illuminate an effect created with yellow and orange and red lilies and yellow roses. Look at that. It almost looks like they're lit up like that.
It is a masterpiece, Mark. It's inspired by the Goodwill Garden, which sits on the campus at Sierra Madre Elementary, just a few miles away. A group of Japanese-American parents donated the garden in the 30s, but it was neglected after World War II, and students restored it later as an act of goodwill. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Micah, these are my favorites.
Yes, Mark, here they are, the most recognizable breed of horses in the world, the awe-inspiring Budweiser Clydesdales, named after the region of Clydesdale, Scotland, where they were bred for farm work. These massive creatures were introduced to the United States over 140 years ago and made famous by the brewery as a symbol to celebrate the end of Prohibition in 1933. Many of them stand over 6 feet tall. That's nearly as tall as an Alaskan moose. That's huge. They're elegant, these Clydesdales, and they have an important job today. Carrying through the parade route, as you see there, 10 California fire captains representing all of the first responders who have fought the devastating wildfires in our state this year. So a very special Rose Parade thank you to all. Mark?
Yes, and those Clydesdales are absolutely beautiful. We have another winner. This is the Leishman Public Spirit Trophy Award for Most Outstanding Floral Presentation from a non-commercial participant. And a hearty welcome to Easter Seals, making its Rose Parade presented by Honda debut this year. And the winner on top of that, celebrating Easter Seals' 100 years of disability services. Now, this floats a party, and we are all invited. Alongside all the cake, the playfully wrapped gifts highlight the Easter Seals' ideals that ensure life-affirming opportunities for people with disabilities. The massive 3-tiered birthday cake is iced in crisp white coconut flakes and more than 3,000 hot pink princess roses lining the cake layers. And of course, with 100 celebratory candles flickering on top, letting us all know it's time to celebrate.
And for a century now, Easter Seals has been providing life-changing services to people with disabilities. Easter Seals believes, and we certainly concur, that the melody of life is made far sweeter through harmony and inclusion. Nice job on this float. And here's a great band entry. An incredible benefit of the Rose Parade experience is the cultural exchange that takes place. Shared rehearsals and performances create lifelong friendships, like those with these impressive musicians of the Banda Municipal de Acosta of Costa Rica. The choreography, the dancing, I don't know how they get in sync for this parade route when they don't have, in many cases, members of the band don't have time to get together and rehearse. Yes. This band in particular has such majesty of color and energy. If I could take just a second while we're getting ready to hear this band and watch these beautiful performers, Happy New Year to, and a shout out to my crew at Lisa's Care Connection. Love you guys. You do tremendous work. I'm so proud of you each and every day.
And let's dedicate this next song that we're about to hear to those.
Here we go.
All of you watching, and that you have a wonderful and a very prosperous 2019.
Some say the weather.
What a beautiful performance that is. The dancers are wearing typical Costa Rican folkloric attire, and the black and yellow uniforms represent the country's colors to manifest hope and fertile soil. That's magnificent. Their ages, you should know this, range from 10 to 35 years old. Band members, by the way, come from all different parts of Costa Rica, and to get together, sometimes they have to travel a half a day to get to San Jose so they can practice and rehearse in order to be here today and perform in unison the way they are.
Oh, the crowd loves them.
Yes.
And why not?
Do we?
This one really makes me smile. This is a showmanship trophy winner. Outstanding display of showmanship and entertainment. It's from Universal Pictures and DreamWorks Animation. They bring us How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. The color on this is so majestic. Peach lentils, mushrooms, mosses, and yellow split peas set the stage. Toothless and Light Fury soar high above the others as Hiccup and Astrid watch in amazement, and all the dragons, including fire-breathing Crimson Goregutter and Meatlug, are made of various combinations.
What were their names?
Their names are Goregutter and Meatlug.
Oh, okay.
We've got seaweed and coconut and orange lentils. More Brussels sprouts in the parade this year than I've ever heard before.
Yes, yes. Also, takes a lot of courage to navigate through this brilliant and mysterious dragon utopia. And just like the How to Train Your Dragon movies, it's an artistic celebration of bravery and an embrace of the ups and downs which we all face. And that is what makes life a melody, if you will.
Those little hobgobbler dragons, if you can see those guys, they've got a special blend of color for their tongues. It's pink macaroon,
pink macaroon?
Look at that. See how the distinctive color between their face and their tongues? That's a proprietary blend.
Yes, I see the status as well is on there.
The things we learn. Thanks, Universal and DreamWorks. All the way now from snowy Alberta, Canada, is the Calgary Stampede Show Band. They are 165 strong, proudly displaying their Western heritage for our Rose Parade presented by Honda.
The Calgary Stampede Show Band was created as musical ambassadors for the world-renowned Calgary Stampede. That was back in 1971. Now, the Calgary Stampede is an annual event. It's like, if I were comparing it to something, it would be like America State Fairs, the American State Fairs that we have here, showcasing equestrians, music, and nightly rangeland derbies, which feature epic chuck wagon races. Dressed in red, white, and black spirit, this band is designed to celebrate youth achievement in Calgary's community.
The smiles are just magnificent. There's so much pride when you get to see these bands come by.
You think of all the people at home, nestled in, back home, up north.
Who raised money and encouraged and went to those early practices.
And know that they're here representing, you know.
And accompanied by their show band, here are the Calgary Stampede Show Riders from Alberta, Canada. Since 1985, this dynamic group of young riders have a popular fair and rodeo program that encourages each member to achieve riding mastery, both as a team and as individual equestrians. Riders are on magnificent American quarter horses. And you know, our friend Bob Eubanks would want me to let you know that these and all horses move naturally with 4 gaits: the walk, the trot, the leaping steps known as the canter or lope, and the gallop. Our hugs to you, Bob Eubanks, and to Stephanie Edwards. I am so mindful of your beautiful and graceful example as I sit here in this booth today.
Absolutely, and I know Bob would have a lot more to add to that because he is such a horseman. But we're going to move on, and this is one of my favorites. Just, we have a winner. This is the Americana Trophy winner for Most Outstanding Depiction of National Treasures and Traditions. And just like music can heighten the senses, so can fragrances. That's the inspiration behind Garden Fresh from Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day. And there she is, front and center, Mrs. Thelma A. Meyer. She's sitting proudly beside her harvest, fresh basil, radish, pumpkin, lavender, and flanked by an apple and lemon tree. All of these are also fresh scents that you can find in her very popular cleaning supplies. The cheerful centerpiece serves as home to a 16-foot-tall singing sunflower enjoying a refreshing shower. Her face of yellow straw flower, eyelashes of black beans, and sweet freckle accents in white navy beans and cream soybeans.
This is a great one. And you know, as a homemaker and a mother to 9 kids, Mrs. Meyer didn't like the harsh chemicals and the cleaning products, so she did like what any good Iowan would do, and this is what you know, right, Mark? She just said, all right, I'm going to handle this. She took matters into her own hands, and she inspired a line of organic products grown straight from her garden with essential oils. We love that.
Yes, we do.
And Micah, it's really nice to have her in the parade for the first time, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I love the story, and Thelma deserves her moment in the spotlight. This is the Cavalcade of Bands Honor Band coming around the corner. What you see here is traditional marching band meets new technology. This Cavalcade of Bands Honor Band consists of instrumentalists from 19 high schools across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, and West Virginia. And because they're spread out over such a wide geographic area, regular rehearsals together are, well, not possible. Band members practiced on their own, communicated through social media, and finally came together to make, well, this. Flowers were just for floats. Check out their uniforms. You see that? Live roses on every one of their uniforms. Thank you, cavalcade of bands, and a special shout out to our international viewers who are also sharing the day with us.
It's not every day that you get to say sesquicentennial. Because it's not every day there is a 150th anniversary.
Looks like
and
we've
they're
got
having a hard time coming to celebrate theirs because malfunction here. That's not ever supposed to happen.
Well,
and
that's
this is
a train, yes.
Yeah, their train is being repaired while we
came off the rails, apparently.
Apparently it did derail a little bit. But the bands you can always count on. You know, this parade has been going on since 1890, a way to show off Southern California. We do have a beautiful day as we say Happy New Year to all of our viewers, and our thanks to our KTLA members. Every year, more than 100 team members get together to collaborate to bring this into your homes. This is a real labor of love, led by our fearless leader, Jenny O'Hagan.
Yes.
Got technical leadership of Chris Riley, executive support of John Mazzolski and Don Corsini. We are really grateful to be on their team, aren't we?
We are grateful to be on their team. And occasionally we will say this, because this is a live event, things like this can happen. A float can break down. Things will get shuffled out of order. As you can see from far above, they are trying to repair this. And the entire parade process comes to a standstill because why? That float is stopping other floats from getting around it. So
yeah,
we'll do our best to inform you of what's happening and keep you up to date on things. While we have a moment, I want to share a story that we didn't get to. Did you have something you want to? Oh, we want to talk about.
I was just going to tell you that they will hook that up to a tow, and we will get that float into the parade. Some way or another, we're going to get that float to you.
Yes.
But we want to also recognize the people who judge the floats every year. They are an incredible professional team, and they have a 4-day event, I believe it is, where they judge each float in order, and you can see how the crowd loves it. So Preston Bailey, we want to say thank you, a fantastic wedding planner from Vogue magazine, and he's well known. Michael Berry, the longest serving president and CEO in the history of the Kentucky Derby, is one of our judges, along with Kimberly Oldis. She's
Absolutely.
a past president of the American Institute of Floral National Board. So they just do a nice job, and we wanted to send a shout out to them.
As we see this being repaired and how the parade organizers are working around this, I want to say a shout out to all my family and friends too that are watching, both back in the Midwest and back east where it's all cold and chilly and whatnot. But and to my family back here at home, my boys and my wife and my little daughter.
And little Parker Rose, who should be a part of the Rose Parade just because she is as beautiful as can be with those little lips that look like they have some sort of a proprietary blend of rose
We gave
petal.
her Rose as a middle name for a reason. So she could be part of this.
Love to you and your family as we celebrate this beautiful New Year's Day. It's KTLA's broadcast of the 130th Rose Parade presented by Honda. As we go back to the action on the street, we see what's going on with that float. They're still trying to get the train.
I would like to share one story. We didn't get to this portion of it, but it goes back to the horses, and we talked about the little miniature therapy horses. People I don't think understand, because my wife has a therapy dog, how important therapy animals are. And for example, Blue Moon was one of the horses that Victoria had. And the story that goes with that story and how these animals help people and help with therapy is that they actually used Blue Moon to let this child open up and talk about a very troubled time that he had and how he connected and missed his farm animals.
You know, they always say that band members are like being in a family. And when a group of these students became separated from their South Chicago school when it closed, the Lincoln Way Marching Band was born to keep this musical family together and give a divided community something to rally around. We want to hear their sound. Our thanks to Honda for presenting the music of the Lincoln Way Marching Band.
The ensemble is comprised of students from 3 Chicago high schools. There's Lincoln Way, East, West, and Central. Now, keeping in mind all they've been given, Lincoln Way recently initiated a hat and mitten drive to benefit low-income families at an inner-city performing arts school in Chicago, and the kids collected 670 sets of hats and mittens. So every student there could receive some warm weather gear for those cold winter months that are still coming their way. That's very cool, or shall I say very warm of them to do. Let's listen in a little bit more.
This event has been televised since, I think, 1947, and you get to see and create your own favorite memories and your own favorite moments. So far, do you have favorites?
I do have favorites. I mean, the toast. I mean, can we talk about? I mean, how many times do we get to toast on live television with a national viewing audience? So, Stella, Wines, thank you so much for providing that. We take a look again at the float that's still being repaired to come around the corner. But I will say this: the theme is so important when you come up with this. So it's so important for President Freeney to come up with a theme, and for me, music just resonates through so many things, and we see it showed in the floats, within the bands, the horses and whatnot today. Shaka Khan.
And Gerald Freeney selected her. Typically, the president gets to choose the Grand Marshal, and he's brought a lot of his own distinctive personality to the parade this year.
Yes, and the LAUSD band. I spent some time with them, and it's really interesting to see all of these students come together. And when they rehearsed, it wasn't just sort of like we'll go through the motions. It was like drill sergeant type of thing.
Oh, sure.
And they are all so proud to be a part of that group. It's very impressive. So
we've still got equestrian units coming around the corner. The parade is going on, even though we have a train float that has been temporarily derailed. Nothing is going to take the smile off our faces here.
No,
Happy New Year.
Not at all. I wanted that Chipotle float to come back around. I want to grab a snack off of that. Everything on there was edible. 51 different ingredients from your kitchen to their kitchen is there. And I love that they self-imposed that.
Yes.
As Micah said.
Well, it's like you said, it was like a salad bar. And it really is. And I said, perfect for me, because they've also got so much use of coffee on that. And that's my elixir
of choice. Which, by the way, is something we don't talk too much about, but there was a lot of coffee used on that particular float. But there's still a little bit more of the parade to come your way, and of course we are continuing to watch and see what happens with that float that has stopped and broken down. But it's an amazing float.
We spend time before the parade comes on touring all of the floats, seeing them in different levels of production, and they put up scaffolding just like you're building a house. And they do it in stages, which Mark and I found fascinating, because they can't flower up until you get down to the lower stages, because the flowers are the most fragile. So they do a lot of the dried materials, a lot of you see those volunteers cutting that all the status that we showed you, cutting it by hand in little tiny pieces. And then they will mum up. I love it when they say, we're going to mum up now.
Yeah.
It's going to mum up.
Because those are the more hardy flowers, and then they save the more fragile ones later. But they also, when they build these floats, it's important to know that not only do they put the dried ingredients on first, but they also build from the top to the bottom, because you can't put the lower flowers on first. So you start at the top, and depending upon what's up there and what's not. Interestingly enough, on the 24-hour float, the outside was the frame, the skeleton, if you will, and the inside was all the flowers.
All the florals.
Yeah, so they had to build it and then reach inside to put in all the flowers. It was really an amazing effort on that.
We have a little hiccup in our Rose Parade. If you're just watching, we have a float that has had a bit of a malfunction. They're scrambling right now. They're probably going to tow it up. It will get in the parade as best we know. And some other networks may have to cut away or their coverage ends. Ours does not.
Not us.
We stay with you throughout till the very last flag has flown, the last instrument has been played, the last smile and wave has happened.
Yeah.
That's the way we do it here at KTLA.
And we should mention that float that is about to come around the corner and then got stuck actually is a two-float float. There's two connected together. It is a very large one, and it appears to be the second of the two floats
of the units
that broke down. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then it's live television, Micah, and so we see things happening and changing as they go along. But I think about all those volunteers, the people who planned a year long, but I guess now their float is getting not the attention maybe they wanted, but it's getting some time in the sun.
No, well, I mentioned a couple of times the suspense that comes with the turn from Orange Grove onto Colorado, and in some cases the suspense is when there's no float at all, and that's the case here at the moment. But as you see the tow truck there attaching itself, and they're gonna try and move it out of the way. You see there are a couple of floats behind them. They can get the marching bands around, but obviously you can't fit the other floats around, so that explains the delay. But a very patient crowd here, I must say. I mean, look at this. You've got upwards of 1 million people along the parade route, and they are waiting patiently, and that would then be the backup of floats waiting to turn the corner down Colorado Boulevard. But it's one of those things. It happens. It's live television. Sure. It's a parade, and you've got crowds of people along the way that are here to see it all. We saw a few moments ago the group at Cal Poly, the students that are here right along Colorado Boulevard, screaming as well, and a congratulations to them because they won. They have won in the past, but they got the extraordinary trophy this year for the most extraordinary float. And Cal Poly is always one of my favorites for many years. For many years, I spent time down there with them during the parade, and I sat amongst the kids. So I like the noise. I remember it fondly, and remember them fondly as well. As we see the crowd, a lot of them now mingling into the street here along Colorado.
Wondering if it's over, but it's not.
Yeah, right.
There's still a grand finale that is planned for this.
And we have more floats, and we have a lot of things coming your way. But the float that is broken down, Mark, is one of our favorites, which is really, I'd love for us to be able to talk about it. It's the Chinese American Heritage Foundation's float. I said they had a sesquicentennial. You see that 150 there. Right. And they are celebrating Harmony Through Union is what their float is called. And it's a monumental achievement because it's all about the completion about connecting America from sea to shiny sea, the completion of the railroad, which cut down coast-to-coast passenger travel time. It went from 6 months to just 1 week. So that float is all about the Transcontinental Railroad. And when we get to see it, and I hope we really do, you'll see some beautiful craftsmanship, some great stories, because this was all done through immigrant labor. And many of the people who are riding on the float and walking with the float today are descendants of those original immigrant railroad workers.
It appears to be starting to make the turn as I'm trying to watch the monitor. It is coming around the corner. I will say, too, we will get to see this here, and we will bring you this parade in its entirety while other networks will cut away.
Oh, let's cheer. It's coming. It's on the move.
It's made its way. It's made its way. But you will be able to see this float and all floats following the parade today on Sierra Madre and Washington Boulevard. And you'll get the beautiful smells.
If you haven't ever done that, Mark, you're right. Do that because they'll all be parked there, and we get back into action. That tow truck has saved the day. Here we go.
The Wells Fargo Grand Finale proudly presents Where Flowers and Football Meet. And arriving just in time with the official pass to the big game, please welcome Pasadena firefighter and hero of the borderline shooting tragedy, Peewit Coley.
Happy New Year. Enjoy the game.
Wow! Five-time world champion Kobe Bryant. How amazing is that? We've had another amazing Rose Parade in the books, right? Now, give it up for pop singing sensation Anne Marie! Run, run, run.
I will always remember the day you kissed my lips like a baby. And it went just like this, no snapping baby. In the summer of 2002, we were only 11, but acting like grown-ups, like we already were. Drinking from plastic cups, singing love to forever. I guess that was true. Dancing on the hood in the middle of the road, and we're staying where we sang songs we all showed our friends. And it went like this, and I was singing
And Happy New Year to Anne Marie and all the stars that were in that great finale number.
Beautiful.
I'm Lisa Gibbons with Mark Steinis here. We're with you. We are not done with our parade.
No. And we won't sing, but we're not done.
I don't know if we can promise we won't sing. Really? I mean, you may be wishing that we wouldn't sing. Thank you for bearing with us as we're kind of getting notes flying in and out. And this is broken down. The truck has it. And let's go back here. And that's what makes this parade so exciting. And we're so happy to spend it.
Well, if you look over our shoulder, you'll see the one that did break down. But it is something worth spending a moment on. And maybe we can get some close-up shots of it because it is absolutely beautiful. And it is that 150th anniversary that Lisa loves to talk about so well.
The sesquicentennial?
Sesquicentennial, yes. But look at how gorgeous this is. These two train engines coming head-to-head, symbolizing the finishing and the completion of that railroad from coast to coast, which, like you said, really limited the traveler time from 6 months to just 1 week. I don't know how that would compute in today's technology, but it's like almost, you know.
And here are the immigrants when they were working on that And it was the first project of its kind, and I just love that so many of the descendants of those people who made this monumental event happen are here today. I hope they are feeling our love and our appreciation. I hope the engineers and all the floral designers and all the volunteers that put this one together know that sometimes things work out differently, but we appreciate your work and good effort by the entire Rose Parade team getting this back on track so you could see it in all of its glory. It is quite spectacular.
That big, large hammer that you see there and the spike on the other side is a representation of the final spike that was put in, the final railroad tie that was put in to complete that process. And it really was something that brought this country together from coast to coast and allowed people to really begin to explore this great nation of ours.
Like we said, from sea to shining sea. And this one, as with all of the float entries, the rules are every square inch of the float have to be covered with natural material, florals, any kind of botanicals, dried materials. I mean, if you're a designer and you want to use dead roses, you can, but they have to be all natural materials. And it takes about 30 roses per square foot, maybe 20 daisies to cover a square foot. So somebody did some calculations somewhere along the line and said that translates to roughly 18 million flowers that you see.
And it's quite interesting because a lot of the growers are contracted ahead of time to say, listen, we need this type of rose, this type of carnation, this color, and they will begin to grow those, and then they are cut and transported in. Some are flown in from around the world, and they are brought into Los Angeles, and they will go through a typical process of what happens, which is customs. And once they clear customs, then they are taken to the individual float barns. But it is all done on such a timely manner, because you can, the flowers only live for so long, so they have to be cut and transported. There can't be any weather delays or anything like that that can cause these to begin to wilt and start to fall.
Floriculture is a huge industry here in Southern California. We do have more floats ahead. When this one is able to move forward, we do have at least 2 more floats coming your way that we really want to tell you about. Please don't leave us here on KTLA. We're going to stay, as we said. These people camped out for days. The least we could do is camp out with you until this parade completely reaches its final moment, and that is when every marcher, every float, every band, every horse.
There's the other floats. Those people work just as hard on those floats, and we hope to bring those to you. I'm getting a sense by looking at the pictures that we are seeing with you now. Some people had made the assumption, maybe thought the parade had come to an end because of this breakdown that had happened. But I think sooner or later they'll begin to move this one out of the way, and maybe the parade will continue down because I believe there's a band that yet has to play as well. So
now, it's interesting what happens. Remember, the parade route is 5.5 miles and takes about 2.5 hours or so. And so Chaka Khan and some of the people, President Freeney that you saw earlier, they're now getting to the end of the parade route. And it's a very different experience than coming down Colorado Boulevard with the grandstands and the throngs of people yelling your name. That's where you really get to see this community come together. You see people who've been camped out. You see their children. They wait to take a picture. This has been on many people's bucket lists for a long time.
Yeah, and I think, too, Micah, from your standpoint, do you get a sense that the parade is going to move forward from there? No?
Well, not really. I mean, I have the advantage of hearing what we're talking about on the air and understanding, what's going to come ahead here and the aerials that we see. But for these people here, I think it's, a lot of them are on their cell phones and they've decided to start to move on out. I would say more than half the people are beginning to walk down the boulevard now in assumption, clearly, that this is over. But South Pasadena's float hasn't come around the corner yet, and their theme is 3 little birds, and you know what you say, every little thing is going to be all right. This is more than a little thing. I don't recall something happening quite to this degree in years past, but you know what, they're working feverishly, I can tell you, around that tow truck trying to get things squared away so that they can get that thing moved. But in the meantime, it's sort of what's your neighbor say? And your neighbor says, well, I'm going to leave. So the people around them say, well, I'm going to leave. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. But there are still quite a few people that are still patiently waiting. I think a lot of people have personal connections to what they see coming down Colorado Boulevard and want to see their work and want to see the work of their friends and family go by. So, there's that part of it as well. But as you can see, there's the shot that we see, and that's that many people have decided to walk on.
Well, I'm heartbroken that their work does not get to be seen.
Me too. And you say it is all about personal connections, and you saw me kind of getting this kind of a cue, like, what, do we cut? Do we cut? Really? Yeah. Unfortunately, we have had this snag in the Rose Parade. I want to remind you, you can see our encore performances all day long today on KTLA, KTLA.com. And I know, and also we have a band cam. There are all kinds of ways that you can continue the Rose Parade experience. Don't forget the floats are going to be lined up right after today's parade on Sierra Madre, so you can see those up close and in person.
And I want to take just a moment to thank you, Lisa, for being an amazing partner to work with. It has been just a joy. I want to take a moment to acknowledge all of those who put in so much work, the volunteer work, to make these floats come alive, and the bands and the horses and all the efforts in the communities to get those people here. And also you, Micah, for all that you have put in to make this such an amazing day for all of us.
Well, I truly enjoy working with both of you. And, the transition was real and it was seamless. And I'm more than honored to have you on board and to be next to you. There's a lot that goes into this before we come on the air here on New Year's Day, and I think people at home have some sort of an idea of that. But there's a lot of time spent and a lot of work that goes into this, not only from the standpoint of Mark and Lisa and myself, but from all the people behind camera that you don't see, that don't get recognized until the credits roll. And we have to tip our hat to them, because without them, there is no us, and there is no parade, and there is no this. And this is the magic that we've come to love together. And again, Mark and Lisa, the transition was seamless for me to work with you two, and I look forward to many more in the years ahead.
Well, same here. And we're going to take a pause right now as we thank you for watching this 130th Rose Parade presented by Honda. On behalf of all of us, we hope you have a fantastic 2019. And let's just take this moment as we collectively wish you
a Happy New Year.
Lisa Gibbons, for a special encore of the 130th Rose Parade presented by Honda. It's next on KTLA 5.